Hi, I'm Chef Gail Sokol and welcome to my kitchen. You know what? It's very rare you see cherries, obviously, in the winter, but it's always fun to have a cherry tart. And I'm not going to make a cherry pie. This is super simple. This is a free-form cherry almond tart or galette. They're all the same thing and anybody can make it. It's actually peasant food and boy, will it make you want to be a peasant. It's absolutely scrumptious. But before we get started, I'd like you to click that notification button because I want you to be a subscriber. I don't want you to miss any of my videos or tips because they're awesome and I love having you with me in my kitchen. I really, really do. You're friends in the kitchen and I love it. So the first thing we have to do is get a very flaky crust for our free-form tart or galette, whatever you want to call it. It's scrumptious and it's without all the hassle of a pie. And I make it in my food processor. And the first thing I like to do is get icy water. So I always fill up a big, you could do any type of pitcher, fill it with some ice and some water, way more than you need. And then I have a measuring cup that's a little smaller because all I need today is about 1/3 of a cup and a little bit more, maybe about a teaspoon. And then I have a bowl ready because I like to put my ingredients after the food processor. I like to put them in here and get my hands on them just to see if I have enough water. Because flakiness is created by cold fat. In our case, it's going to be butter. And icy water to maintain the temperature of that butter so it doesn't melt. And when it does get to melt in the oven, that's when it melts into the dough layers above and below it, and the butter will actually leave a space, and that forms steam. And steam is a really good leavener, which will push up on the dough layers above it and below it and actually create flakiness. And the ice water really helps with that. So it's sort of a team player. It's like we're playing a football game in the oven and it's fun and it's flaky and it's without incident. So in our food processor, we have 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. And then I have 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. You can use kosher, you can use regular salt. It doesn't matter, whatever you'd like to do. And I'm just going to whirl this around for a second, just so it gets a little blended. And you want to be careful because the flour will aerosolize and you'll start choking. And then I have 1.5 sticks of unsalted butter, cold, that I've cubed in little tiny, like 1/2-inch cubes. Not a big deal. And I'm going to put those in here. And if you don't have a food processor, you can just use a pastry blender, which is basically just has a handle and loops, metal loops that you can cut your fat into a bowl like this until the butter is about pea-sized pieces. And that's what we're looking for, like the garden pea. Now, because some food processors poof out and the flour just goes flying, my little hack is to put a kitchen towel over it. And I'm just going to pulse this until I get pea-sized pieces. Now, my insurance that I'm going to get a flaky dough is just a wee tad of an acid. And you can use things like lemon juice, orange juice, and some recipes I use apple cider vinegar. Just a tiny little bit, just like a teaspoon, not a big deal, not a big deal. I'm going to do a little bit more here. So a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. If you want to use vodka, some people use vodka because it's flavorless, but it just breaks down the protein strands in the flour because flour has protein. Wheat flour contains protein. So we don't want a lot of gluten. And that is the structure that wheat flours can form when water is added to them. Gluten forms this sort of, this sort of like spider's web, if you will. And the stronger it is, the tougher the pastry. So think bagel or pizza. We don't want that. We want a real light, flaky, delicious pastry dough. So here goes my vinegar. And then I'm going to put in from my icy water. Make sure you have that handy. It's got to be icy. 1/3 cup. About 1/3 cup. We're going to get you out of there, Ice Cube wants to join the party. And then just a little bit more, maybe a teaspoon more. All right, and we're going to make sure it's about right. I might add just a tad more. You just want your pastry to hold together. You don't want to add too much, so I'm going to just add that. And then I'm going to put this in here on the top and just pulse. It's not going to form a ball, so don't think, oh, she needs more water. I don't. And that's the key to flakiness. You don't want to add too much water because that's when you do develop gluten. So I'm going to unhook this and I'm going to hold onto the blade from underneath. I'm going to put it into a bowl because I want to feel my dough. Don't just let a machine do the work for you. You want to get your hands in there and make sure that you feel the dough yourself. All right. So let's go in here. I'm not going to knead it. I'm not kneading it like I would a bread dough, but you can see the little tiny pieces here. That's all butter. Butter. Yum. Butter, cold butter, is equated to flakiness. So the colder the fat, the flakier the pastry. That should be your mantra when you make a flaky pie dough or a flaky pie crust, anything like that. The colder the fat, the flakier the pastry. So I'm just sort of rolling it around and putting it together. I'm not kneading it, I'm gathering, okay? I'm gathering. And I've gathered, and it has come together, right? Call them, and they will come, and they did. So what I'm gonna do is get a piece of plastic wrap. You don't want to leave this in the bowl and just cover the bowl. You really want this covered with plastic wrap. And watch what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tuck the baby into bed. I'm gonna push down on it to create a disc. It doesn't matter what shape it is. We are hoping to get a circle later on. And then I can put this in the freezer now, date it, label it, put it in the freezer for a month from now if I want to make a beautiful cherry almond freeform tart, or I can just keep it in my freezer for 15, 20 minutes or in the fridge for about an hour, and then we're ready to fill it and bake it. See you back. So this beautiful flaky pie crust has been in the fridge for about an hour. I'm going to get it out because we're about ready to roll it out to a 12 to 14 inch round circle. And it rolls out beautifully. And the reason it does is because of that vinegar, that acid. It also helps the dough become what bakers refer to as extensibility. Fancy term. That just means it's very easy to roll out because there's not a lot of gluten, you know, giving it that rubbery boing, like a rubber band, boinging back. So it won't do that. So the first thing we want to do is we're making this in a different way. Instead of mixing ingredients into the cherries to sweeten them or give them a little more flavor, we're going to do this on the bottom of the pastry and then put the cherries on top. So very, very cool. So what I'm going to do is there's about 1/4 cup of sugar, granulated sugar in here. There is 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, that's our thickening agent, and about 3/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. If there's anything else you might want to add, like ginger or anything else, you can do that as well. I'm just going to mix that up. But this is really, really perfect. It's absolutely delicious. I make this all the time because it's frozen cherries, and that's what makes it so easy. And people are like, cherries? You have cherries? And the frozen cherries are really nice. They actually work well. All right, so I'm going to put this aside. My cherries are 2 10-ounce packages of frozen cherries that I have thawed and drained. And to give them a little bit of almond, and cherries and almonds go very nicely together. I have about 1/2 teaspoon of almond extract, and I'm just going to toss my cherries in there. Look how beautiful these guys are. You're beautiful. Les cerises in French is cherries. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so now it's ready to roll out our dough. First thing I do for a flaky pie crust, if you've ever watched any of my bread videos, I always say, don't use a lot of flour. Well, pie crust, different animal altogether. You want to use flour on the bottom because you don't want it to stick, All right. So this is the all-purpose flour, same flour that we used in the dough. All right. And I have a pizza pan that I have covered with parchment paper, or you can use aluminum foil, whatever you feel comfortable with. Or you can do it on a sheet pan and make it sort of in an oval. And you can see little bits of butter in there. That's our flakiness. It's going to happen, folks. And I'm going to roll it in flour, and I'm going to flip it over. And I take my rolling pin, and sometimes it's a little firm because it's been in the refrigerator, so sometimes you need to give it a little whack. But right now, I think we're going to roll out nice. After like 3 or 4 rolls, rotate it like 45 degrees because you don't want weird shapes. You really want a circle. So just rotate. Best thing you can do is rotate. And if you see the flours coming out from under, so it might stick, just shove it back in there. Get back in there. You have to show the ingredients who is the boss. And you're the boss. Don't be afraid of your ingredients. All right? And if you feel that it's getting thick, you rotate it and you want to roll where the thickness is. You can actually put a little more emphasis on the edges. We want about a 12 to 14 inch round. And this will be spectacular. See how nice and round this is? We don't have a square. We don't have a triangle. We don't have the state of Texas. We have a round. And that's good. And that's because I've rotated it. Another thing that rotating does, it prevents it from sticking. So if you are in a sticking situation, you will know that you won't be able to roll it out. So you will actually be able to fix it with a little more flour. So I think we're good. I think we're good. All right. I think we're good. So now we are going to take our beautiful filling, part of our filling, not the cherries, but the thickening agent. We're just going to put it in the center. And then we're just going to spread it out. Only about, it's going to stay mostly in the center, but I want to have a really nice perimeter, like 2 to 3 inches perimeter, okay? Because our cherries really should be thickening, and that's where our edges will be. So just sort of move it around, okay? And then we're going to take our cherries if they've made any more juice, because they were frozen, sometimes they'll just continue becoming juicy. And you can save that juice if you want. You can reduce it, make a nice sauce. You can use it in a mixed beverage, mock or not, whatever you want. I've done a lot of things with it. So it can be fun. And I'm just going to pile my cherries, but keep making sure that they're on the flour, cinnamon, so that and the sugar. These cherries are not that sweet, but they are a sweeter cherry. They're not the tart ones. The tart ones need a lot more sugar. But in the frozen section, that's what you're going to usually find. Ooh, you escaped. Go back. All right, so now, because they're a little high, I'm just going to move them over a little bit. Just arrange. Now, you don't have to really be fancy with the arranging, because they will do it themselves. They'll spread out, they'll make juice. It'll be, oh, it's going to be so beautiful. So what I recommend now, little egg wash on the edge, little egg wash. Usually about 1 egg that you cracked into a bowl. You don't have to add water, just beat it with a fork. And if there's a little cherry juice around, that's fine. Okay. So pretty. All right. Now, you're going to make the free form, the tart part. So you're just going to lift it up and then just sort of go around. Almost like you're making a cuff. Just go around and just sort of go around, go around, go around. All right. Anything you want to do works. And then just push, 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 push. Take a little bit of your excess flour and just get rid of it. Okay. And then I am going to take something to transfer it on to my parchment lined pizza pan. right now, and then we're going to do some more accoutrement. So I'm going to shove this under, okay? And that's where a lot of flour comes in, really handy. All right, so I'm going to keep that here, on here. And then we're going to do a little more egg wash on the top. Not on the top, I should say the sides. All right. Oh, it's so beautiful when it comes out because it's got that beautiful, beautiful red color. See, I match my cherries. I picked this. I handpicked this blouse for that. I don't know if anybody noticed, but I look like a cherry. And that's okay. There are worse things to be than a cherry. Definitely worse things to be. All right, so you see what I've done? All right. So now, because it is a chocolate almond galette or tart, I'm going to put some sliced almonds around the edges. And if you don't like almonds, you can leave them out. If you like something else, like chopped hazelnuts or anything, any other nut you want. But almonds and cherries are like peas in a pod, like peanut butter and jelly and chocolate and peanut butter. They just go real nice. So I have about a half a cup, a third of a cup of almonds. They will brown, so you don't want to toast these because we have preheated our oven already to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So make sure your oven is preheated. And almonds have fat in them, natural, beautiful fat, which is really good for you, by the way. So this is a healthy tart. Well, ignore the butter, you know. So eat it in moderation. But I have about a half a cup of my almonds, and then I have a little granulated sugar. And here I'm just going to go over everybody. Even the cherries, just go around because the sugar will actually absorb the heat and create some browning and caramelization. And you'll see cherry juice coming out. You don't have to use all of it. I have maybe a quarter of a cup that you have leeway with. All right, so this should take 30 to 40 minutes in a 400 degree Fahrenheit oven. And what you want to do is you're looking for a nice brown, golden brown on the crust. The cherries will be bubbling and calling for you. Take me out and eat me. So you'll take it out and serve it warm. And if it does get cold or you have some the next day, you're lucky enough to have some for breakfast the next day, take that slice, put it on a foil-lined sheet pan in like a 350 degree oven to get that crust back. And it will be crispy and flaky. And I will see you back after 30 to 40 minutes in the 400 degree oven. Take care. Look at my gorgeous cherry almond freeform tart, or galette, whatever you want to call it. Now, I told you this was like peasant food because it's so easy. Anybody can make this, even if you don't know how to make a pie. Don't worry about it. This is amazing. This is flaky, and I want you to write to me when you make it because you are going to be literally so happy. This is going to be the only tart you're ever going to make. And you can always substitute out different fruits depending on the season, but it's frozen, so it's so easy. Serve it with some ice cream or some whipped cream and reheat it, like I told you before, in a 350 degree oven on an aluminum top sheet pan, whatever you want to do. But eat it now, eat it warm, eat it for dessert or eat it for breakfast. Become a subscriber. Till next time.